Hello everybody, welcome to AZ Security, the latest updates around Azure. Today we are here at KubeCon in London and I have three special guests at me. First of all, Wesley. Second, Richard. And as last, Arnold. We are all MVPs and we're going to talk about the latest updates that we just noticed today and yesterday around Kubernetes. May I begin with you, Wesley?
Yeah. So yesterday everything started with the Azure pre-day. It was a well-organized day. Some things popped out for me. One of them being the last operation that we got from the Kubernetes cluster if it's in a failed state. Currently, if you have that, it will just say failed, and you have to guess what it was, why it was, and you don't know. You have to reconcile the cluster and hope for the best. But now we get an error message. So for me, that's a big win, definitely in troubleshooting. Secondly, what popped out for me was Azure Linux 3.0. Hopefully you're using it for your node pools. If you're still using Ubuntu, try to switch to Azure Linux 3.0. But the cool thing is they have a promise for a 5-day fix on critical CVs. And that's, from a security perspective, that's a good promise. They made it smaller, they made it faster, less binaries, less packages, so amazing. Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, definitely. That will very improve the security posture for that as well. Also for your AKS nodes, right?
So cool. It was a good day. Pre-day was a good day.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot of good updates there that were shown indeed.
I think it was around 40 or almost 50.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
So
I wrote them down all in my blog, but
at some point I just started watching Rich's X profile where I just went through the pictures so much.
Yeah, definitely. But I will add the link for anyone that just want to see all the updates. Cool. And Richard, how was it for you?
Yeah, really good sessions. So the keynote, it was a bit of a different AKS pre-day for me because I'm used to I've been going to them for this is the 5th KubeCon I've been to, and it's always been George Palmer.
Yeah, I missed George as well.
And he wasn't here this time, but the guys, Justin Davis and that, did an amazing job filling his shoes, big shoes to fill, and they did a good job. My biggest takeaway was that they are progressing with the long-term servicing for Kubernetes. So instead of it being, say, 127, 130, 133, they're now supporting every version for 1 year of community support and 1 year of Microsoft support now, which is awesome to see. So they're really focusing on that security factor, and they won't just update the Kubernetes, they keep all of the add-ons up to date for you and security patched and everything like that. So that's really cool.
Definitely very awesome to see, and very helpful also for not keeping the customers be paced to update consistently, but they have the possibility to a little bit slow down basically.
Yeah, which is nice.
Definitely. And how about you, Arnold?
Yeah, I really liked the Azure Day. What I really liked was the integration that's growing with Cilium. So Cilium becoming the native standard CNI layer for AKS. I also really like all the new features that they adopt from the Cilium project. Like the transparent encryption, which is really good for your data plane security. But also don't forget about these policies like the L3, L4, but the awesomeness comes with the L7 policies, which you already can secure on your API calls. The other thing that was also really nice was the Carpenter integration that is used to add additional nodes to expand. And this really gives you, shortened your time to get a new node to your cluster and scalability. And don't forget Retina. Last year it was introduced. We already see that's now maturing more to the space of what we call, let's say, Kubernetes for the Windows environments. But from a network observability perspective, this shows you an amazing insights in the flows, your TCP packets, the dumps, and the capabilities to trace there. That's amazing, yeah.
Now, I have a question. Is it Retina or Retina? I don't know what the actual name
it's
is for it.
yeah.
It's like with
Yeah.
Kubernetes. Is it
KubeCon?
or
No.
Kube Control
Oh,
or
kubectl.
kubectl, which is what I use. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do
Yeah.
kubectl.
Yeah, we say kubectl.
Yeah, you said kubectl, and I call it Retina, but that's maybe because it's
Yeah.
it's who you ask, I think. But
I think so,
hopefully it's Retina. We will see.
Well, is it Azure or Azure?
Azure, yeah.
That's also the question. Yeah.
GIF or GIF?
Oh,
Never mind,
don't
never
do that one.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't matter. The end
Yeah.
result is that is what matters the most.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's such a cool product.
Definitely, there's more and more maturity growing each upgrade, if I may say so.
Yeah, and the dashboards are growing. So the security dashboards on the integration with the vendor for cloud, you see it's growing. You get more data. You get even got the signing, so the automatic checks if container images are signed.
Yeah,
This is really awesome because who nowadays deploys images, and if you get a rogue image, you can get malware or other, let's say, arbitrary code running in your clusters. And
true.
this can really help the people, and I think this also helps us. We went to the panel, we did also the discussion around it, and I think Microsoft is getting better in that pace by adopting and being open to the community.
I agree.
Yeah.
It was more and more integration, if I may say so, and also on the security elements of Kubernetes itself. And that you're seeing a lot of features that were in third-party tooling. It's now finally integrated into the vendor, but also in the ACR, right, the container registry, which gives the possibility to remove third-party elements if you want to do that, of course.
Yeah, but also the scanning in the container. So the ACR you can also already update. So you don't have to get your containers out, but you can just update
Using
container
copacetic
images. Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
awesome. And and don't forget the part that you mentioned. Yeah, confidential compute support.
Yeah, confidential compute with Linux 3.0. That's very awesome and powerful. I think that we will do there in a separate session for that confidential
Looking
compute.
forward to watching that one from you guys.
Yeah. We've done a lot of things already in that scene, but it's really empowering your environment as well.
And let's not forget that the keynote this morning, it was all about Copilot, it was about LLMs and and a lot of LLMs and observability. And from one side, that's good for a developer, right? Because you build something, you want to, it's non-deterministic. So you push it to production, you don't know what prompt you will get, what the user will ask.
Exactly,
But
it's a black box.
Exactly, but and that's from a development perspective, that's important, but also from a security perspective.
Yeah, of course.
We need to monitor that, and a lot of what I've seen in the keynote and what I see in the sessions coming up is LLMs and observability, and I think in the field of security, that's going to be very important.
Yeah.
At least it gives visibility and where to act, and if you can enable later on with, of course, policies and that kind of stuff, you're getting more grip in those new technologies as well, because it's not going away anymore. It's here to stay, and you have to need some visibility and grasp on that as well.
You need to get that governance sorted from the get-go now.
Yeah, definitely.
It's the governance around it. So it's the model, it's the hallucinations of your model, and it's already getting in these Azure products. So you already can exclude certain things in the conversations. That it's not taking certain measures, or it can include data, but the observability, like what we now see with the AI agents and the RAG, the RAGs, you see it's growing. The market is growing. Like you saw startups, but they're now becoming more mature, and we see that other vendors and like Microsoft are now embedding it into their tools. And don't forget the open telemetry that was also mentioned.
Yeah.
This will come also back directly to your Azure Monitor, because Azure Monitor by native is using application insights with open telemetry. So I think that's a double win for us as community.
I think
from
so.
a Microsoft viewpoint.
I think so either. And if you're looking to the couple of days that are coming, I mean, we're just getting started in the first day. Are there specific topics that you're going to see on your wish list? Like, I must see that.
I'm a big fan of the AI on Kubernetes because for me that's the use case for software companies. So let's go beyond Copilot. What we've seen up until now with a lot of generative AI is productivity focused. But now with the SLMs and with the observability and all that, that's when as a software company you can bring it to the masses, you can control it. But that needs to run on a platform like Kubernetes. You need to be in control of scaling, you need to be in control of costs. And cost is not simply paying for the token. You want to know what SKU, what GPUs, how can you do it efficiently. I had a whole discussion on time slicing and multi-GPU yesterday. That kind of stuff, that's what I'm looking forward to, because I do see Kubernetes as the platform to host AI workloads going forward for enterprises. So
yeah, definitely. And don't forget that Microsoft was also saying that all their SaaS solutions, or almost all their SaaS solutions, are running on AKS, right?
Yeah.
So that is amazing to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot the question there to ask. Like, I wanted to ask, is also Exchange then running on Kubernetes? Because that should be amazing for me as a let's say a dinosaur in Exchange 5.5. So that is for me really something I want to know and learn.
Well, maybe we can ask later on in the Microsoft booth for that.
Yeah.
And for you, Richard, is there a specific topic that you're...
The sort of fleet management of AKS clusters or Kubernetes clusters, multi-region and stuff like that, because in the keynote there was a Google one talking about it, which was quite a clever idea that they've used. Obviously, AKS has got Fleet Manager, which they've donated to the CNCF project. I think it's an incubator now. So seeing how all these different companies are doing it and what can work for us, because in Azure and all these clouds, we're seeing capacity issues with this AI boom. All this compute is being used, and there's not enough compute fast enough for customer needs. So how can we make it so the applications can run anywhere, as long as compliance and governance is there? Then it's all good. So that's what I'm looking forward to seeing.
And for the people that don't know what Fleet Manager is, can you maybe give in a short notice?
Yeah. So Fleet Manager is a sort of a hub cluster in a way, which will then connect to all your other clusters, and you can target this one cluster with your API calls to your deployments and stuff, and then it will use some logic to figure out where you want to put it. If it's cheaper in this region, it can go in that region. If it's cheaper in that one, it can go there. If you want to spread it out over all of your regions, it can do that, and just cool stuff like that. And it can even help with your updates, keeping it all automatically updated, different stages, so your dev, acceptance, prod, you can group them together and then stage it all out, which is really cool to see.
And sort of maintenance all over all your Kubernetes.
Multi-cluster management.
Multi-cluster management.
That's exactly what I was trying to say.
A mouthful.
I thought I just make it. I do a TLDR in your story.
Yeah, no, I love it.
And did you also work with Fleet Manager so far, currently?
Yeah, we've got a couple of customers running it now because they've got a lot of Kubernetes clusters, and trying to keep those up to date is a task and a half. So
yeah. And how many clusters do you have in that customer, if you can share that? Is it around 10 or 50? Or?
It's less than 50, more than 10.
Okay.
We can get that out. It's in the middle somewhere.
Yeah, that's a good use case then.
Microsoft mentioned it already. If you have more clusters than one to manage, then it's better to use it. Yeah, it's their answer, but you can always say if you have more than two, of course it's better to have a centralized overview on your clusters. Yeah.
True. And do you also work with the application spreading via Fleet Manager over more than one clusters?
Not yet. Hopefully soon. I've got a couple of customers that are looking at that kind of idea, and with the announcement Microsoft has made recently, I think we're going to start looking deeper into that and possibly doing some POCs, which would be nice.
I think I'm going to invite you then for another topic on Fleet Manager then specific. And for you, Arnold, what are specific sessions that you're hoping to see?
Yeah, so I already went to some sessions, so you know that I've built a lot of tools for in the security space on GitHub Actions, for CyberArk, so for code signing, especially artifact signing for DLLs, for executable and drivers. So we're really happy to go there. The other one was indeed the ORAS notation. I got Wesley mentioned that to me, so we'll have a look at that. And the other one, what I was really surprised about, was also during the keynote of Microsoft, was the UI part. So they explained a little bit about Kubernetes, and we are nerds. We want to have the command line. And I know from my previous assignments that if a developer says, yeah, we are developers, we're not infrastructure developers, we just want to restart a pod. And you see the openness, the effort that Microsoft takes to create an enormous, and it was already good looking UI for Kubernetes, from deployment to configuration. And this really is also a good place to help and improve the usability for developers. DevX, usability, call it how you want to do it, but I think good progress there, and really love that to see that open source collaboration.
I think so. Yeah, there was also the headlamp you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
That's the tool which Microsoft is creating, a sort of UI clicking for the people that are not familiar with the CLI. I can say it like that.
Yeah. The headlamp project.
Even though it's
Exactly.
a Microsoft product, it's actually been donated to the CNCF, so it is everyone's project.
Yeah.
now.
True. Yeah.
But Microsoft started it.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's amazing to hear. A lot of things to deep dive still into it. Are there specific other things that you pop in mind, talking about what you heard yesterday, that you want to share?
Well, there's been a nice blog post from Brendan Burns, which has been released somewhere on the Microsoft website, because he always does one for KubeCon. And there's this little paragraph in there where it's like, sign up to this private preview of Argo CD on AKS.
Okay.
So I think they're open to more GitOps packages. They're seeing the developers are going down Argo CD rather than Flux, so they need to be there to support it. So I'm going to sign up to that preview and test it out and see what it's going to look like. Will they give us the UI? Will they won't? Because with Cilium, they don't really give us Hubble.
Nope.
We can put it on there, but so will it be the same? I don't know. I'm excited
That's
to
a
try
good
it.
question. Yeah.
That's a good one, indeed. And indeed, what you said, Argo CD is the most dominant in the market nowadays. So it's you also see it here. You see it on KubeCon last year, this year, and it's really good to have it, a flexible ecosystem that you can plug in multiple functionality on.
Yep.
And for you, Wesley?
Well, what I said, the AI stuff, the LLMs, but on the topic of headlamp, I texted you during the keynote, a couple of seats down, and I think it was 2 years ago in Amsterdam even.
Yes.
It was in Amsterdam.
In Amsterdam,
Yeah.
it was like it was just released, like 0 point something version.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very small booth. And there was like a time shared booth where they had it, so they only had it in the morning or in the afternoon, and then we got a t-shirt. That was cool. Also did it
Swag.
on brand with the Pixel Robots colors.
Yellow and black. Gotta love it.
Yeah.
But so I
Yeah,
texted you like, look, so, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it didn't even start as a project within Microsoft, but as a hobby project from someone working at Microsoft.
I think so.
Like and now 2 years later, you can deploy, Minikube locally. You can deploy your mini cluster. You can manage your Kubernetes cluster. You can change context. You have a UI. You can host it on Kubernetes itself in 2 years, and then it's donated to the CNCF. That was
That's great.
And you can create add-ons to it as well. So they created the Flux one, the Cert Manager one. You can do that all yourself. You can even take it and rebrand it so you can have it like an internal UI with your own logo in it, your own color schemes and everything. So it's so extensible. I love it.
such a cool journey. 2 years, and then
It's fast.
And
That's
adding
amazing.
the plugins,
Yeah.
adding your packages, your Helm packages, or what you have available. It's awesome.
At least with the known tools nowadays, as you mentioned, Argo and others.
Yeah.
But I will be visiting some observability technologies, because I've been doing a lot with OpenTelemetry lately. So I'm kind of in my head. It's like, oh, you got so many different things you can do.
Yeah.
What will I settle with going forward? Because at some point you do want to standardize, also for your customers. So.
Definitely. Do you want to add something?
No, I think it's a good decision. Go for observability. Also, that space is very large, indeed, and I think Microsoft is doing a good job. But I think all the integrations around it, learning about logs, metrics, traces, all the things becomes more important over time, also with LLMs and how to integrate it. So that's the thing that I really want to add to this conversation.
Okay.
It was very nice, Dave.
For me, I want to investigate the sovereignty part in the keynote, what was shared today, the neo-POS.
Yes.
And difficult name to pronounce, but and technology which will be set up for Europe countries to make it all sovereign on their cloud environment.
Europe or EU? Because I didn't see England on the map.
Okay.
So I think it's EU, but
EU,
it's EU.
But it's massive,
Stupid Brexit.
massive investments behind that.
Yeah. So I'm very curious to see. That's also for this day around 12:30.
Yeah.
So looking forward to see that. But let's wrap up for today. I want to thank you all for being here to share your story. It's nice to be with so many MVPs all at once, and also
At KubeCon.
KubeCon.
Exactly.
Not even
Also on
MVP,
KubeCon.
Microsoft event, but
Yeah, definitely. So thanks everybody for listening. Hopefully we have a new topic for next week. Until now, take care. Bye bye.
See you.
Bye.
See you.
Bye.